But yeah, I mostly agree with that.
What's debatable?
But they call him Keith.
Keith Murray's fire too. Yeah, I know you know what Keith Murray is.
Yes.
But Kenneth Murray, yes. If you're named Kenneth, chances are you're a pretty good person. Unless you're Kenneth Starr, the former president of Baylor, who's a piece of shit. Horrible piece of shit.
Yeah, all
Isn't he
presidents
like a
of
senator?
Christian colleges, man.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
That was a little dig.
That was a
That's
bar.
all right, though.
That was a softball spike to the face. That was a very ridiculously painful dig.
But Baylor's pretty good at some sports, right?
Just not football right now.
I think
When was
they're
the last
good at,
time they
Basketball,
did
women's basketball has always
Yeah.
been great.
Yeah.
Brittany Griner. They had a couple
Even
people.
before and after her.
They even won a national
they
title,
took it all
I
with
think.
her, but like they've always had been a stout. I mean, even
They
their
won
men's basketball too was been really good too.
One of their players on the men's basketball team stabbed a guy, and one of their kickers, I think, shot a teammate and possibly killed him.
I didn't say anything about being quality people. I said quality sports, but you know,
Yeah,
damn.
a lot of athletes are not good people, but they're great athletes.
It's true. That is very true. And yes, Baylor, in the past 10 years, they've gotten better. Like, from a people standpoint, off the field, and, you know. But, you know, that's what can you do?
Right now, the
I'm
actual
going Justin Herbert and Patrick Queen.
the leader for Defensive Rookie of the Year is Chase Young.
How many sacks does he have?
I'm not sure,
I think it was like
but
4.
as far as the odds from
It's a name thing, too, of Chase Young.
the odds from I believe this is doesn't say. Hold on.
Chase Young gets like 162 tackles, bro. You have to give it to him. I'm not Chase Young, Patrick Queen. And the WTFs are terrible too.
Antoine Whitfield Jr. He's also in the top 5.
He could be a steal on that Buccaneers defense.
Chase
Julian
Young.
Blackmon has been one of the fastest risers.
Julian
on the list.
Blackman, Utah DB
And Jeremy Chin has also
for the
been.
Patriots.
It's also in the top 5 as far as odds.
Raiders passed on all those people, by the way.
Shout out to Damon Arnett, returning to practice this week.
I'm just saying you could have had Kenneth Murray, but you took David Arnett. You took like the second best corner on Ohio State team again.
Do you have to live in whatever city you're playing for?
No.
Nah.
Okay.
Sometimes they don't do that. Just during the season, they might just like have their own hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
But now with the COVID situation, who knows? They might come up with a bubble in a couple of years if things don't turn around. But
That was painful to hear the word years come out of your mouth.
Yeah, I was just thinking that too. I was like, God,
I had to be realistic. I was like, because I'm not taking that fucking vaccine when it first comes out. Somebody else can volunteer. But
Right.
it's like, you look at that, and Chad Johnson actually talked about how he actually lived in the Bengals facility his first couple of years. Like, lived there.
Smart.
That must be so boring.
Save money.
He's like, everything
Just
I
work
need.
out.
He's like, everything I need is here.
Work
Yeah.
out, eat. Food's right there.
Marvin-
Chefs, weight rooms.
And Marvin Lewis was like, well, you need your own place. And then I'd be like, well, Marvin, this is a tax write-off. And come on. Like, yeah, I could get my own spot, or I could just buy rental property, but then still live here.
So who's your midseason MVP so far? I feel like we're gonna agree on this one as well.
Are we, though? Okay, so offensive MVP or just league MVP?
League MVP.
No, I'm not going to say Big Ben. I can't bring myself to say it.
I was gonna say, man.
I was like, I don't care if they
Nah,
are
he's
7.
gonna win comeback player of the year.
I don't care if they are 7-0. Disgusting. Mahomes by default.
I'm going Russell Wilson.
That's what popped up when you typed
I'd say-
in midseason MVP 2020.
I'd say
He
Russell.
is, but they're going to screw him.
I'd
DK
say,
Metcalf is offensive player of the year.
yeah, I'd say Russell Wilson, and then probably give the offensive to Pat Mahomes.
But then if Kyler Murray...
Just because Pat Mahomes is going to get that LeBron effect. Like, bro, you already got an MVP, and we can give it to you pretty much every year situation.
But Kyler Murray is technically...
Kyler Murray could win the Offensive Player of the Year, too.
They're a better team than the Seahawks.
When do they
and shout out to Russell Wilson and Sierra for funding a charter school. We didn't get to that.
I talked about that.
Barely.
I felt like you just weren't listening.
Bro, you literally did our show in 30 seconds last week.
We only had to listen for 30 seconds.
It was impressive, was it not?
Debatable.
I'm going to punch you in the face. Debatable. Is that debatable? I don't know.
But why would you go Mahomes over Wilson?
Because the Chiefs have the least amount of problems wrong with them this year.
Okay, but
and even though they're not the best team in the league,
your argument then?
Nah, but he's clearly the reason their offense is working. Like, yeah, they got Edwards-Helaire, but he's still doing things that are like, this man is ridiculous.
Is the only loss the Chiefs have to the Raiders?
Wow, wait.
Is it?
I totally forgot that the Raiders beat the Chiefs. Damn. Once Le'Veon got signed, I was like, that loss doesn't count. But it does.
Do you think Le'Veon gets a lot more action this weekend?
Probably, yeah. Because you got to eventually, you got to lean on your running game.
Because Helaire, I mean, he's been okay.
He was great against Buffalo.
I think both of them only saw 6 carries last week.
It was Buffalo. He had 160 yards or something like that.
He just hasn't been what you would want in a first-round running back.
No, when they use him, he's been pretty great. He's still a rookie.
I wouldn't say great.
Bro, he had 160 yards against the Bills, who were supposed to have a top defense.
I still wouldn't say he's great.
You're hating.
I'm not hating. What did he do against the Raiders?
You're hating. You're definitely hating. You're definitely hating. Just say you're hating. It's okay.
Hold on. I'm going to look at this, man.
This is a safe space. You're hating.
That's what my therapist says. It's a safe space.
Oh, I thought she said you're hating.
It's a safe space for you to hate.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, he has 572 rushing yards.
In 6 games as a rookie?
No, in 8 games.
In 8 games as a rookie.
2 touchdowns. Receiving, he has 200 yards. So he's on pace to almost get 1,500 yards. But in that offense... Impressive? I don't know, man. I think it's good. I'm not trying to say he's sorry or he's trash. I just don't know if he's a game-changer generational back. James Robinson actually has better stats than he does. And he's with the Jaguars, bro.
James Robinson.
Who's on the Jaguars right now?
DJ Chalk. Chris Conley.
Bro, you just named a Chiefs washout, a dude who's been injured every other week, and a dude who was injured every other week last year.
He wasn't always injured at Colorado, but he was injured.
No, Chenault has been injured this year. He's been on the injury report every week.
Yeah. They're probably going to tank and then end up getting Kyle Pitts in the first round.
If you get injured, does your contract change?
It depends on the escalators contract and things that are kind of woven into your contract. The amount of time you miss. It comes back, especially during negotiations. That's why in a situation like Dak and other guys, some guys will sit out till they get their money because they know if they get hurt, then they lose all their leverage. So you kind of have to do what Le'Veon did. Some people say, well, you averaged it out. He would have got the same amount of money from the Steelers. Well, had he kept playing from Steelers, he probably would have got pounded out and injured even worse. And then you're injured with a little bit of money, and then they can cut you after pretty much the first year you sign your contract because most of your money is your signing bonus. Everything else is just okay, you'll get this if you finish out this year. Yeah, you can have a salary for the year, but if you don't make it or you get fired before the year's over, then there's a whole severance issue, and that's what a normal job would look like. But in the NFL, we don't owe you the rest of your contract because you're terminated. so you're screwed. But yeah, when it comes to this, yeah, I'm still gonna stick by Herbert and Queen for Rookie of the Year, and then MVP. I'm gonna say they just give it to Mahomes again because they can poke the least amount of holes in his resume. They'll be like, well, it's COVID, divisions were weaker. You could say, yeah, like the Rams are good, the Cardinals are good. Like, you would use Kyler Murray to say why Russell Wilson shouldn't get it. Because Kyler Murray's having a great year.
So just too many good quarterbacks.
No, it just doesn't help. It doesn't help when you're almost tied. Like, you lose to a team that has a quarterback that was the number one overall pick in the draft, and he's playing up to his potential, so I can leverage that against you. Whereas, if you look at the AFC West, who stands next to Patrick Mahomes? Nobody. Big Ben isn't having a better year than Patrick Mahomes, and they're undefeated. So you can't even say Big Ben's the best player on an undefeated team. The Chiefs, yeah. The Chiefs, you can excuse that loss against the Raiders unless they beat them again.
I don't know. You could argue with Big Ben that they would not be having as good of a year without him.
They would be having a good year without Chase Claypool.
And he had an okay game this last week.
Lights out all year. Even when they lose Devin Bush, they somehow get Avery Williamson for nothing. So you would point to the defense and say, okay, the Steelers are doing it by playing team ball. You look at the Chiefs, again, it's Mahomes. Like, yeah, you kind of have to. You can't take Mahomes.
Well, what is Russell Wilson doing?
But he's always doing that. He's always bailing out his trash defense.
Yeah, and but that whole team is on his shoulders.
And DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett.
Which are playing lights out, both of them.
Yeah, but Russ is getting them the ball in perfect spots.
I mean,
and making
Metcalf
it look good.
is a superhuman beat. By the way, the Raiders passed on DK Metcalf too. Just,
everybody did. For one round.
Yeah, but there were reasons why he wasn't a first round pick. There were reasons why. You're injured. You missed most of the season. You have horrible agility testing. Like, their D tackles with better agility than you. That's the only reason why. If he had just had an average agility test, he would have been a first round pick.
So with that, can we move to college football? Do you have some stuff?
Indeed. Mountain West football is back in full swing. Screw the rundown. I'm just going to say what I was going to say.
There is no rundown.
Yeah, there really isn't. There really wasn't a rundown this week. I passed like the first five things.
That dude who throws,
it just wasn't working.
Who throws papers off his desk, but they were really just empty papers.
Oh, don't worry about those. Those are not important.
Don't worry about those. We're going off the script. We're going off the script for this one.
Yeah, this one we're just gonna Audible this week, and that is unless Audible wants to sponsor us, but So college football, Coastal Carolina. Guess where they're ranked? They're number one in the Sun Belt. Guess where they're 15th?
Ranked? 15th?
Yeah. Why the fuck is Coastal Carolina ranked 15th in the country? So anyone explain that to me? Anyone can tell me their website. I can give you $5 right now. Don't look it up. Just tell me. Exactly. So no one knows it. They are Coastal Carolina, a school that Josh Norman went to years ago. A coach who is known famously for barking like a dog and a hilarious soundbite. They are 15th in the country. I need that explained to me. Oklahoma State, by the way, the Big 12's trash. It's done. It's done. Throw the conference away. They're done. 8th ranked or 7th ranked Oklahoma State lost to Texas last week.
They're less ranked now, but
yeah, they're like what, 14th or
14th.
Something? Yeah, they Big 12's trash. No one's don't even have a Big 12 title game because there's no point. Literally, I would veto a Big 12 title game if I was the NCAA. I was like, no, you guys have 10 teams. That's already stupid as shit. You could have added, just.
The Big 12 has 10 teams?
And the Big 10 has 12 teams.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure.
It's, and then the whole Leaders and Legends division in the Big 10.